Angela Constance, to be followed by Jeremy Balfour.
Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. I'm grateful to Alec Rowley for securing this debate tonight, because it gives me the perfect opportunity to thank all of the West Lothian organisations who work all year round and not just at Christmas to alleviate food poverty. And tonight's debate also gives me the opportunity once again to state my support for enshrining the right to food in Scots law, because hunger in one of the richest countries in the world is indeed a crime. It's a moral crime, and it's a crime in terms of international law. To be specific, Article 11 of the 1966 International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, signed by the UK as far back as 1976. And our approach to ending food poverty should be based on a legal right to food, but we need to be clear about what that actually means and what it means in practice, because it means that the Scottish Government and all of our public bodies would have a duty to ensure access to adequate and affordable food, and that the Scottish Government would indeed, as would their agencies, be open to challenge within their existing powers. And that's a big ask of any government. It's an ask that we should step up to. But we also have to recognise that if we want legislation to mean something in practice, that there is much more work to do within government, across Civic Scotland and on a cross-party basis to ensure that our approach is resilient and robust across time. And as Alec Rowley has said, the Scottish Government at present does not have all the levers required to end food insecurity and poverty. And this was also recognised in published work, Ending Hunger Together, led by the Reverend Dr. Martin Johnston. And this, of course, is demonstrated by local experience. Between April and September this year, the West Lothian Foodbank distributed over 3,000 three-day emergency food parcels and provided a lifeline to over 1,000 West Lothian wains, their busiest year to date. And demand is increasing due to rollout of universal credit. Specifically, the reasons for families seeking help from the West Lothian Foodbank is to do with low benefit. 38% of families are struggling because benefits are low. 19% are struggling because of delays in benefits, and 17% are struggling due to changes in benefits. And the bottom line is that lack of food is due to the lack of money. And some countries have the right to food in their constitutions. Germany calculates social security benefits on the basis of what is required to have a nutritious diet and a life with dignity. Dignity, well, that's an important word, given that we know that there are many people who would rather go hungry as opposed to seek help from a food bank. Therefore, the work done by other organisations in my constituency, such as the Venny in Knightsbridge, with their Good Food outlet on a Tuesday, which supports 50+ families, the Polbeth Community Hub with their community fridge and community shop, all of their work is imperative because it recognises that food is about community as well as consumption. And I'm very grateful to the Polbeth Hub for hosting an event that I supported along with the West Lothian Art Link, the fantastic Soul Sisters, a social enterprise from Glasgow, for the community cooking lesson that they led, where we all learned how to make Algerian mahajabs and Polish pierogies. And all of these local organisations, in addition to tackling hunger, are also reaching out to communities to reduce loneliness, to reduce isolation, to promote good mental health, to help people upskill and recognise the social value of food. Presiding Officer, if I can end by saying this morning I had the great privilege of meeting children from Addywell Primary School, my old primary school, which made me somewhat reminiscent and nostalgic. And I know much has changed in the community that I represent since I went to Addywell Primary School in the 70s. But rising hunger and rising poverty for our children is indeed our collective shame. And as we look forward to 2020, we should remember that poverty is not inevitable, that we can end it if we are determined to transform our collective shame into collective action.